Subscribe in 5 seconds or Mecha Fred will knock down your 1x1. Smash like if you agree. My luck in Fortnite isn't exactly the best. It also doesn't really help that I'm bad. Well, at least I'm better than Fred.
You got me! Where'd you hear that one? Party City?
Wait, what? Did you just have a comeback? You're Fred, you can't have a— What is going on around here? My luck isn't the best, but you'd be surprised. In comparison, your luck probably isn't quite that bad compared to how bad some of the people on this list's luck is. It's pretty bad. And hey, while you're trying your luck, drop a comment leaving your Epic Games usernames after purchasing any new cosmetics using code T5G for your chance at a shout out in a future video. Number 10, the tires. Here's one of the most unlucky drops I've seen in a while because floor loot is RNG and choosing where to land is not. You might think that a spot cannot be unlucky. Well, think again because this clip is just hilarious. The player chooses to land at the racetrack near Paradise Palms, and their first mistake is swerving away from a building and opting instead to land in the middle of the track. Yeah, good luck, buddy. Although they're not exactly the luckiest person anyway, considering they accidentally land on the tires surrounding one of the tracks. You'd think that would be the end of it, but they then bounce off the first set of tires backwards with unprecedented momentum and land on another set of tires, which they then bounce off of those and straight off the edge of the map into the water where they're eliminated. It's just a chain of events which just make this one of the absolute worst ways to get eliminated before you even touch the ground. Number 9, there's just no way. Here's quite an unlucky order of events, which led to such a ridiculously embarrassing moment in Fortnite. For this player, they just wanted to pull off a quick sniper elimination on an AFK player, but even they couldn't do that because they disconnected a millisecond before the shot hit them. If that wasn't bad enough though, the player then tried to retrieve the loot dropped by the disconnected enemy. Getting in their baller, they swung up to the platform and got ready to bail out until the baller suddenly hit a launch pad and bounced off of the build. As the player was already jumping out, they fell down from the build and could not save themselves with a build. What makes this even worse is that if you look closely, you'll see that 5 people were spectating and witnessed this player just get absolutely smashed by the game. How unfortunate. Number 8, the lucky escape. Or not? Just when you think you've achieved the impossible and defied the odds, it seems that fate will always catch up to you. And that's what happened with Scrubby Fingers 1, who was climbing his way down a build after healing, but ended up unwillingly falling down towards an enemy spike trap placed on the floor below. With some of the fastest reaction times I've ever seen, Scrubby Fingers actually survives the trap by placing a super fast pyramid build on top of it. It's remarkable how fast he places it. Any second later, and he would have been eliminated by the trap. And just when you think luck and skill is on his side, he then walks away in shock, but is caught off guard by a trap spiking him through the floor and instantly eliminating him. You can't escape your fate, my friend. You may be wondering why you can't see the trap that got him through the floor. And that's because the clip happened at a time when an infamous exploit allowed players to build traps under floors to eliminate unsuspecting opponents. It's patched by now, though. Phew! Number 7, trap glitch. Speaking of spike trap glitches, here is one which works in one player's favor and absolutely humiliates another. When playing squads, this player encountered an enemy camping a room and decided to take the matter into his own hands. Jumping into the room and surprising the enemy, he then battled them and eliminated the opponent with his tactical shotgun. It wasn't long until he noticed that spike trap was just inches away from him, and it was the reason the enemy was camping in the room, waiting for their opponent to get spiked. But he wasn't hurt by the trap. In fact, it didn't even activate. Pure luck saved him, and it was all because of a glitch. However, this same glitch wore off, and the unsuspecting teammate of the player waltzed right into the room and was down by the trap. I'm starting to think that these things have minds of their own and they just eliminate whoever they please. How unlucky do you have to be to fall down to a glitch trap? Quite, it would seem. Number 6, the builds. Build battles are probably the main feature of Fortnite and what makes it so unique to any other game out there. But when these build battles go horribly wrong is when it becomes hilarious. And that's exactly what happened with a player named Tox. First rule of playing in Season 10, you probably shouldn't start a build battle on the very edge of Tilted Town. As you may already know, Tilted Town currently has a no build and no edit zone, so the last thing you should do on the outskirts is, build. But that's what happened when Poitox got himself into a battle with an enemy and gained a height advantage. However, the opponent built themselves into a 1x1, and instead of pushing from above, Poitox thought it'd be suitable to try and build to the side and break the wall. Instead of building to the side, they failed to place the build and instead jumped straight off of the cliff. As they were falling, they passed the border into Tilted Town, which meant they couldn't build or edit and save themselves from their impending elimination. Of course, they slammed into the ground and were swiftly taken out by enemies. What a shame. But in at number 5, we've got the Lupo Scream. This next moment is from Fortnite streamer Dr. Lupo, and it happens as he's playing a casual game of squads. With only him and his teammate, oh my man Train alive, he has to come in clutch when the teammate goes down, placing a build and stairs to block out enemies from shooting at him. He goes for the revive, and that is when his luck turns sour.
Yeah. I don't know if you can get me. I'm watching.
Oh boy. Even with those builds, a rocket from an RPG flies over their heads and explodes near them, but eliminates them both in the end, sending Lupo into a panicked scream. If that rocket had have been a few inches lower, it would have hit their build instead, and they may have been able to get that revive. Maybe next time. Number 4. Wait for it. I've laughed at clips before, but this one had me howling. Yikes. So basically, a streamer named Turnuk was in a tree and spotted an enemy who had no idea they were practically above them. Taking advantage of this, Turnuk got out his sniper and decided to try and one-shot them and get it over with. He spent an insanely long amount of time trying to get the shot ready and aiming it so that the player would go down immediately. And when they finally went for that full pot and stood still, that's when he pulled the trigger. He hit the tree he was standing on. In doing so, he destroyed the tree and fell down, instantly being eliminated by his own misfortune. Darn, it is so funny, but I feel so bad for him at the same time. He spent so long preparing that shot and he just, man. Number 3, the poor guy was trying to get on the slipstream. There's nothing more unfortunate than being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and if you're just a person wanting to get into a slipstream, you have a right to do that. Well, this player was just trying to get into the slipstream and was practically touching the thing before a trick shotter on a drift board came along and pulled off a ridiculous quickscope on the guy. He was taken out immediately and probably had absolutely no idea what just happened. Pretty unlucky stuff. If you'd have been just a tad bit more forward, you would have gotten into the slipstream and survived. Oh well, better luck next time, I guess. Number 2 is the Fortnitemares. This is probably one of the saddest and yet most hilarious clips in the list, and it's from Ninja himself.
We got jugs, baby. Oh, please don't. Please stop. That really hurts. No.
During a stream, he went to take a chug jug to fill his health and shield, but the horde near him was not having any of it. He says, we got chugs, we got jugs, baby, but it seemed like the zombies did not like that at all. A single friend went up to Ninja and started slapping him, and as he was drinking his chug jug, if this would have kept happening, Ninja would have gotten the jug, drank in time, and then could have taken out the zombie. That's when another one appeared and also started attacking him. Throughout all of this, Ninja was just hoping that he'd be able to drink the chug jug in time and muttered to the horde, please don't. As he's getting tag teamed by these zombies, he's 0.6 seconds away from getting full health and full shield, and he's eliminated. A whole 0.6 seconds was between him and possibly a victory royale. But unfortunately, Ninja was not lucky that day. Not lucky at all. Like something out of a nightmare. And in number 1, we've got the Baller. There's nothing worse than being so close to a victory royale and it practically being taken away from you because of something completely out of your control. That was the case when SLZ Kanga was in the final storm circle against the top 10 players for that sweet number 1 spot in an arena duos match.
Damn, where can drop me check if you got spare rockets. Oh dude, that baller literally, I have 1 health. That baller ran in front of me.
That guy just like
He had 122 health, and things were looking good. He had the high ground against another duo and got out his RPG to take them out. The second he fired the rocket, a baller swung out of nowhere like Spider-Man and used itself as a shield against the rocket, causing it to explode and take Kanga down to 1 health and 1 shield exactly. What are the odds? Was the baller secretly the opponent's bodyguard and was waiting to have its get down Mr. President moment where it sacrificed itself to save the day? Or was the player just extremely unlucky with the timing of a random baller appearing? Probably the second one. I really wish it was the first one though. And I'm sad to say that this kind of stuff still does happen with things like the mech, where things are a little bit out of your control when it comes to how OP those things are. But that's been our list on the top 10 unluckiest moments in Fortnite. And hey, be sure to click this video on screen right now. You can't miss it. It's on screen. You got to click the annotation right now. Click it, check it out, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.